Hey Musketeers, so I have something completely different today that I wanted to show you guys, which is Project Random, as you can clearly see by the thing in front of you. It's an idea for a game that I've had for a little while that I've been thinking about making, and I'm wondering if you guys have any feedback on it as of what I have for ideas so far. So I'm just going to start off by saying it's sort of like a roguelike game. It's kind of like a tabletop game except a video game. It's kind of weird. I don't really know how to define it, so I'm just gonna begin with like the player itself, herself, him or herself. So you have four choices. Each one has different base values such as health, starting coins, combat strength, like magic items, what base weapon they start with, stuff like that. Each one gets different possible quest lines, which I'm going to get into in just a moment, but each one will have different possible quest lines. Each one will also have different possible end bosses, which will not be entirely related to their quest lines, which I am really interested in making that possible. Um, you will start with only one of them, but you will unlock the rest as you play. That's my idea of the setup right now. Uh, so that's how I think the characters will be set up. Obviously, I'll do all the individual tweaking and stuff, but like I said, the quests. In the quests, there's the main quest, which acts as the main story for the game. It's randomly chosen, apparently, randomly chosen at the beginning of the game, and this is, by the way, all of this will be done in Java, because I know nothing about C++ or C Sharp, so I'm going to be doing it in Java on the Unity engine, because it's free. So I'm going to do it on Unity. But there will be about 5 different possible choices, or 5 different quest lines, if you want to, per character. So each character can have one of 5, and each one will have a different path, and it'll be, I think it'll be pretty cool. So that will total up to about 20 different quest lines possible. Each one will require the player to go around the entire map, gaining strength for the final boss, who... I'm not really sure about the final boss yet. I have some ideas, but I want to hear about your feedback on the things that I have, like, actual, thoughts about, and if that makes any sense to anyone out there. Anyways, there's also going to be side quests that you can pick up, which are, they're ways to enhance the character aside from the main quest. They're randomly picked up through the player's travels, which I will also explain later in this video. But once they are completed, the player gets a small reward, such as gold, armor, magic books, things such as that. Things that he won't get, or he will get, but they're not going to be as powerful as the main quest, but they will help him proceed through the main quest. That's kind of the point I'm trying to get to there. But moving on to the world map. Here you can see that it's a 3x3 map, which is typical for the game, but I'm thinking I might add choices for the player. They might be able to do a 2x2 game or a 4x4 game, which I think would also affect the choice of quest line that they get, which might make it more interesting. There might be more quest options if I make the world size bigger or smaller. But each piece or tile, if you want to, is randomly placed at the beginning of the game, excluding the player's home, which is always in the same position depending on which character they choose. For instance, the very first character will appear in the top left. Each piece is connected, as I have so wonderfully displayed in this picture that I drew in Paint. Each one is connected, and it's forcibly connected. Each one, you have to be able to go between each and every single piece. However, well, you'll see. I did not actually think about ordering this at all, but only the player's home is revealed at first. Yeah, because that makes sense. Because why would you have all of the map revealed at once? That doesn't make a lot of sense, really. Different pieces will have different requirements for travel, such as a boat crossing a river, or there might be somewhere in the city there'll be somebody requires you to pay a toll to go down that path or something. And speaking of the city, the centerpiece is always a city. It will always be the city. The city will have merchants, it'll have some quests, it'll be big, there'll be no enemies in it. Probably. I might add thugs, I don't know. But various pieces have different environments and they have different enemies, and I think it'll be very interesting to experience that and to create it. The thing about that is that I'm going to need to find someone who can do meshing, because I can't do meshing at all. If you don't know what meshing is, then you're probably not the person I'm looking for. But, moving on, if we were to zoom in, we would see this map tile, which I have also beautifully created. But each dot that you see here is a space that the player can move to. I'm thinking either by keyboard controls or by clicking on them, which then there would be like a smooth animation and it'd be kind of cool. But the 4 outermost dots are connected to the appropriate dots on adjacent tiles, which you could see on the world map if you went back. The little dashes that I made are the connections that I don't show here. But each dot has a chance of spawning an enemy, offering the player a quest, dropping an item, doing nothing, you know, stuff like that. Like, think FTL when you're in the nebula system thing, whatever the hell it's called, when you're choosing the next star point to go to. You go to one and, like, there's a chance of something happening. You know, that's what I want to have do. That's what I want to do with this. It's just that we won't go even further with this, I think. I might do it for the combat. I haven't decided on that yet. The lines between the dots represent, you know, the movement ability of the player. So if there's a broken section, like you can see in the diamond that's not complete in the center, they can't go between those 2 dots. And some paths require special items, which I already discussed. So I have various other things I need to like think about, like combat, what kind of final bosses I would want. I already know what art style I want. It would be probably not as detailed, but kind of like a Trine art style, where it's really, you know, fantasy, but it's really kind of nice looking. You know, just a good old fantasy thing. That's what I would like to have. But the combat, I don't know. I honestly don't know what I would do for the combat. I might have it like zoom in and be like player options, or it might be random. Who knows? We'll have to see with all that, but that's for a different video log. This is the very first video log. It's also the very first thing that I tried to do a script for, which was terrible. I literally just looked at the pictures. But, so please excuse me for being a little ADHD, I guess. A little bit, anyway. But I'd like to hear what your thoughts are on this. Like, what do you think of the quests, the characters, world map, and the map tiles? What do you think I could add? What do you think I should change for the sake of gameplay? And this is stuff I would really like to hear from you guys. I really do want to make this game for you guys. Like, yeah. I'm not making it for myself. That would be silly. Why would I literally just make a game for me? I mean, obviously people will tell you, you know, make a game that you would want to play, and that's one of the goals, but okay, I'm just rambling. You get my message. I'm embarrassing myself the more and more I talk. But yeah, I just want to hear you guys' feedback, and see you guys later. Thanks for watching.